here for another exciting episode of the Cybersecurity Studio. Today I'm going to do my part 2 about risk management. Now, as I discussed before, anything dealing with IT operations involves some degree of risk, just like in life in general. Now, how can we mitigate the risk? There's essentially 6 strategies you can follow. There's risk assumptions, like after you've gone through everything and say, hey, there's that residual amount of risk that I'm going to assume. But I would say that is after you've done all your due diligence and due care to make sure that there isn't anything that's going to leave you wide open to a security vulnerability and then becomes a threat. All right, another strategy is risk avoidance. So what you're doing is you're eliminating the risk cause. So a lot of times we refer to that as remediation. So if there's a unpatched piece of software, you patch it, you test it, you patch it again if you have to, and then test it again. And then once you're sufficiently satisfied that it's gone, then you avoided that risk. Risk limitation sometimes is that you put you limit the risk by implementing controls that minimize the adverse impact, like, for example, backup systems. Risk planning is that you develop a risk mitigation plan that prioritizes, implements, and maintains controls. Another strategy is research and acknowledgement, to lower the risk by acknowledging the vulnerability or flaw and researching controls to correct the vulnerability. And then there's also risk transference. A lot of times that could involve like having insurance or making arrangements that somebody covers that risk in a way, like you might outsource certain controls that will protect you, because not everybody has massive resources, especially for a small company or a small agency. Sometimes you have to make arrangements either by contract or letter of understanding or memorandum to transfer that risk, and somebody else will take on doing those forms of protection. So now, going back to the NIST Special Pub 800-30, there is a risk mitigation methodology, and there's actually a flow chart. So if you look up the NIST Special Pub 800-30, there's actually a nice little flow chart that does on top to bottom. How do you do that? Now, let me go over it real quickly. First thing you do is you prioritize your actions, because just like in real life, if you realize, oh, there's a risk to my house, somebody made a threat to you or your family, there's certain actions like call the police, change the locks on your doors. So you have to actually, get together with your family and figure out what's the priorities. Do you get weapons? Do you put in an alarm system? You gotta set your priorities depending on the severity of the risk. Okay. Second of all is like evaluate recommended control options. So that's what you have to think. It's like, okay, is this practical? Can we do this? Can we afford to do this? Is this something that we could, is this an option that we could implement fairly quickly? Do we need to notify an outside organization in order to help protect us against this particular threat? The third step is conduct a cost-benefit analysis. Of course, nobody has an unlimited budget, even if you're a government agency. So you actually have to figure out what is, in order to implement this control, what would it cost? Now, you can look at a number of options. Sometimes you might have to do a mitigation because it'd just be too expensive to implement a control that would remediate the risk. So what you do is like, okay, do a temporary fix, or sometimes referred to as a mitigation itself, that will kind of cover you for the time being. Fourth is select the controls. So you say, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and maybe L and M as options. Okay, then you assign a responsibility that's simply managing, delegating who does what for whom. 6 is develop a safeguard implementation plan. That's saying, okay, here's the security controls, here's our timeline, here's, once you decided who's going to do what for whom, you include that in that plan, and you say, hey, let's put it in action. You might have to get together with your security engineers, for example. You might have to get together with a supporting organization, especially like in the government. A lot of times you have certain agencies that might provide certain protections and controls for other agencies. Give me an example. Within DoD, there's U.S. Cyber Command, where they do the monitoring and response and stuff like that for the services, and services do that for their particular agencies, commands, bases, and so on. And then implement the security controls. Now that in doing your implementation, you probably do some testing to make sure that, okay, like for example, the implementation plan says, all right, we will include this new software or a new patch, and then you do your testing before you actually put it in there. You put it in there, you run some scans, make sure that everything's up to snuff, and if it's not, then put in another patch, fix it, reconfigure it, then run another scan and make sure that is working as intended. So, all right, well, that is just a little bit of what I am trying to get you to think in terms of cybersecurity. And we're going to move on to how do you start doing some of this stuff and how do you get it done. If you like what you saw today, or you want me to produce better and high quality videos to help you along your way in cybersecurity, like I said before, I'm trying to get people more engaged and have a better understanding what cybersecurity is about. And for those who are just starting their journey in order to become cybersecurity professionals, I'm here to help you know what we're dealing with. And if you have any suggestions for topics, please let me know. Because there's new topics that come up every day. They're very interesting. And if you want to support me, my Penetron address is listed above here. And, at least click a like or something like that, get more attention. And if you like me or like what I do, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy. All right. You have a great day and be safe out there.